We're live with Alize Cornet today. Like everyone knows who she is. She's a professional WTA player since years, and she's won 6 titles on the single circuit, and she's reached as high as World No.11 on the singles ranking. So we at Essentially Sports have a huge tennis fan base for WTA as well as ATP. So we're glad to have you here, Alize. Thank you for joining us.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last words.
Thank you for joining us. Can you hear me?
Okay, no, that's my pleasure. Thanks for having me here.
So how's it been going? It's been 70 days since the last WTA match. So how have you been coping up? Has it been boring? Has it been fun? How's your day looking like?
Well, actually, it's been going pretty well so far. In France, we are actually having our 8 weeks of lockdown. So yeah, it's been 2 whole months without playing tennis, without being able to go out. I mean, we can go out, but it's very strict. So it hasn't been very easy every day, but actually it also gave me a little break, and I realized that it was not so bad to take some time to be home, to rest, which I haven't done for 15 years, I think, because I haven't had big injuries in my career, so I actually never stopped playing for more than a month. So I really enjoyed this time home, but now I feel it's time to go back on court.
Have you been getting time to practice at all, or has it just been some fitness routines?
I played maybe 3 times in 2 months because one of my friends has a tennis court in his residence, but it's like it was like 30 kilometers away, and it's not easy to drive with the police and stuff. So I've been going there just 3 times, but it was actually pretty nice to feel the ball and hold the racket for these 3 times. But now I can wait to be free to play as much as I want, you know.
How do you think this break has been affecting your tennis? You know, when you get back on the court, do you think it's going to be slow? Do you think it's going to be fast? The recovery, how do you think it's going to be?
Well, I'll tell you in a week. No, I'm not really sure. The thing I'm the most sure about is that I really worked out every day during this quarantine. I don't know how I had the will to do it every day, but I just thought that it was better for me and it was easier for me to come back if I would be still in shape. So actually I did fitness every single day of the quarantine. So I guess when I will be back on court, it will be okay physically probably, even though I'll have to get used to the tennis movements and everything. But then for the tennis feelings, I'm not sure. The 3 times I played, I was feeling the ball quite well. So I would say it's gonna come back easy. And you know, I mean, I've been playing tennis for more than 25 years. So I guess two months is not gonna change a lot.
When do you think it's going to return though? It's looking very unprecedented right now. You don't know when tennis is going to come back. So what's, according to you, do you think the season is gone? Are we going to see you directly at the Australian Open?
I have no idea what's going to happen for the rest of the season. I have to be honest with you. Nobody saw this pandemic coming. And I think nobody has a small idea of what is coming next. Of course, we are all hopeful for some tournaments to happen before the end of the year, especially Roland Garros for me, which is my home Grand Slam. But nothing is less sure. I mean, we have no clue how is it going to be. The lockdown is going to be over on the next Monday. And then I guess we're going to see how the evolution is going to go. But if we can play some tournaments before the end of 2020, I think it would be already a victory. But we will definitely have to adapt, and maybe it's going to be a year without tennis, but that would be very sad.
You've been at the top of the game a few years back. However, after the injury, you know, you had a tough period of time where you struggled mentally as well. And could you describe that period of time? How is it? Is that similar to now, where there's a huge gap and you've got to fill that gap up?
If I could describe what? Sorry, can you repeat?
The period, the injury period. You had a shoulder injury, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I didn't have many injuries in my career. I'm very, very lucky about that. Maybe the longest injury I had was 6 weeks maximum. I had few tear here and there, and of course I had this this shoulder that was bothering me for 6 months. But I didn't actually stop playing tennis. I was playing with this pain, which was really annoying, but I didn't stop because of that. So yeah, I'm very grateful that my body was able to hold all this pressure and all this practice and all these matches also for that long. But of course, the feeling of being injured is much worse than what we're living right now, because at least we're all in the same case, we're all living the same thing. And when you're injured, you see the tour that keeps living without you. You know, you watch it on TV and you cannot do anything except rehab and try to come back as soon as possible. But it's a very frustrating feeling. So I guess for all tennis players, I wouldn't say that this quarantine makes it better, but it makes it easier. You know, you let it go. You have no control on it anyway. So yeah, you just have to enjoy it as much as you can.
That's an interesting point you made about enjoying the quarantine. Because the lower ranked players have been really struggling with their income. You know, they've already fired their coaches, a lot of stories coming up. Have you been in touch with any of your friends on the tour, among, you know, how they're keeping up with this kind of situation going on?
I haven't been in touch with many other tennis players, actually, to be honest. I mostly talk to the French girls, Caroline Garcia, Pauline Parmentier, Fiona Ferro. They are my mates in Fed Cup. So yeah, we kind of kept in touch. And I saw a lot of videos on the social media about my fellow tennis player, and what I feel overall is that everybody is living this quarantine pretty well. I mean, it's not easy psychologically to cope with that, but I have the feeling like everybody's pretty happy to enjoy some time off. The thing that is a little bit more annoying and bothering for the future is that we have no visibility of what is going to happen next. And I think that's the most worrying thing, is that we are totally insecure and unsure about our job in 2020, if we will be able to earn money, if we will be able to play tennis. And yeah, that's definitely not easy for everyone, but so far what I saw and from what I heard, tennis players seems to be pretty okay.
You mentioned you being in contact with your French mates. You won the Fed Cup after so long. How is that feeling? And do you think a team being, because tennis, you know, it's an individual sport, but a team being around you, how has that affected your mentality?
Well, there was an amazing experience to win this Fed Cup. I don't even have the words to describe it. I mean, it's such a powerful feeling. It's such a huge happiness to win this title with my friends, with my team, to represent France for so many years, and to finally bring this title home from Australia, which was a long way to go. So it was really amazing. And I mean, the whole campaign of 2019 was great. You know, I played, I won. All of the players of the team played and brought a point to the team. So that was a real teamwork. And this crazy final with Christina playing on fire against Barty, and oh my God, that was such a roller coaster of emotions. And actually, when we went back to France, we had the chance to meet the president of the Republic, and that was something pretty awesome. And yeah, definitely some memories that I will keep in my mind forever.
You mentioned beating Ash Barty. Talk about the new players that have come up. You know, people like Osaka, Kenin, Andrescu, they've come up and showed up big on the big occasions. Do you think the competition has increased right now in WTA, or has it been the same?
Yeah, I mean, for being on tour for more than for 15 years, basically, I can definitely see the evolution of the game on the WTA. There is no doubt about it. I mean, the girls, they hit harder and harder. It's totally crazy, and they're so complete. You know, they're all so athletic, first of all, which was not the case 15 years ago, where some girls were not that athletic. Now it's the case of all the players from the top 100 and the top 150, I would say. They all play so good. It got really competitive. It was in the past, but I mean now you cannot let go a single match. You cannot let go a single set or a single point, because all the girls are on your back and they're playing such good tennis. So yeah, it's a real, it's a big challenge to stay at this level, and that's why I'm so proud to be part of the top 50 for the last 8 years. You know, it's been challenging, but I was working so hard to stay there, and I hope it will be the case till the end of my career.
You've had some really competitive matches even before this era of new players. You know, you've beaten Serena Williams at Wimbledon. You've had a 3 consecutive win record against her. So, what is it against tough players that brings out the fire in you? I mean, is that a speciality that you would like to boast about?
Yeah, I saw a stat about me. For the last, I think, 6 years, I've beat a lot of top 20 and top 10 players. Yeah, which is nice, you know, but I guess the fact that I have nothing to lose, maybe, I know it's a little bit an easy answer, but that's pretty much the truth. You know, I'm just going on court without any expectations. I think that's the expectation that kills the game the most. You know, when you go on court and you have the feeling you need to win and you actually cannot play freely on court, that's the worst feeling. And again, these top players, I'm just going on court and I'm just playing full power myself. I don't have any expectation. I just play my game. I give everything I have because I know that if I don't, I will lose anyway. So I guess it makes it a little bit easier. And what it shows me is that I have the level to beat these players. So now I just miss a little bit of maybe consistency to keep having these results throughout the years. But you know, I'm still looking for this consistency, and I hope I'm not over yet at 30 years old.
So, talking about the consistency point, have you got any goals for your next season? I mean, do you have anything in your mind to aim at?
Well, yeah, I had some goals for 2020, but obviously not easy to keep these goals going on. I started working with Sandra Zaniewska last year, a Polish coach that is a really good person and a really good coach. And what we set up for the 2020 season, which is going to be the case for next year if it happens next year, but is to make my game a little bit more aggressive. I don't have any ranking goals or like result goals. I really have some let's say tennis goals, but in a global way. Like I really want to be more aggressive, go more to the net, trying to shorten the points a little bit because I'm not getting any younger. So running 1 meter away from the baseline for 3 hours is something that I don't enjoy doing as much as before. So we've been working on this for the whole off season. And actually I started my year pretty well. I won many matches and I was playing aggressive. I was enjoying it. I love going to the net. I love volleying. I was serving better. And yeah, that's a shame that the season didn't keep going because I was on a really good move. But you know, I will have to keep that in mind for when we will be back.
Is playing more doubles going to be part of your strategy as well? Because we've seen you play a lot of doubles at Wimbledon as well. So is that going to be a thing for the coming season?
I don't think so. Actually, for the past years already, I've been playing doubles only on slams, but not really on the WTA tour because my body can't allow it anymore. If I play singles and doubles after like 3 or 4 matches, I'm done. So I really need to keep my focus and my energy on the singles. That's a shame because it's something I like to do, especially last year we played quite well with Petra Martic and I really enjoyed playing with her. But now I have to admit that I cannot follow this rhythm anymore and I really need to take care of myself and not playing too much.
On a completely different topic, recently Federer came on Twitter and said ATP and WTA will have to, come together, in these tough, difficult times. What do you think about that merger? Do you think it's a good thing for WTA, or do you think WTA is going to lose some power going into a combination with ATP?
Yeah, that's the question I'm still asking myself. I'm not sure about the answer I'm going to give you because it's been on my mind for the past weeks, and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Actually, to be honest, I think I would need to see where it's going to have maybe more cards in my hand, because right now we're just talking about a merge, but we have like nothing concrete actually to, you know, we don't have anything concrete, and it's a little bit bothering me to give my opinion without having all the facts. But definitely for the whole image of tennis, I think it would be amazing to do only one tour and to be all together. That would show a great image to the other sports also, to do the same thing maybe. I like the idea that we would stop talking about women's tennis, men's tennis, but it would be an entity, you know, that we would be all together. The only thing is that you are right. I fear a little bit the loss of power, if I can say that, from the WTA if we go one with the men, because we know that the ATP is a little bit more present in the media. They have more money, they have more sponsor, and I'm wondering if it's going to be really equal with men and women, or if we're still gonna fight for it even though we're one tour. So yeah, this is question I'm asking myself, but I'm more like, I would say that I'm more for it than against it. let's put it like this.
And do you think now is the time to, you know, have these discussions? Because, you know, there's no tennis going on. There's everybody is, you know, at their home sitting. So I think it's a good discussion to have at this point of time. And do you think there will be any major changes before the season starts?
Well, I think it's definitely a good time, because we're all going through a huge crisis, international crisis that everything is, that everybody is in. And I think it's a very good idea in this critical time to have this kind of conversation and to be able to change something, because we have time. The tour is not going on. There is no matches. There is no actuality. So I think it's the perfect timing to try to make things change in a way. But I think this is something that we will not be able to change in few weeks or few months. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of discussion between the both organizations, but also between the players, you know. And yeah, I can't wait actually to see my fellow tennis players, male and female, to talk about it and see in which direction we want to go.
All right, Alizé. So we've got a couple of questions from our fans. We'd like you to answer. So you were in a French TV show in your childhood. How is that feeling, and do you plan on going back anytime to that kind of stunt?
Yeah, when I was 11 years old, I was an actress in a movie in France. That's true, and that was a really nice experience. It was 3 weeks, you know, of making, and I have really good memories from this experience. But I will definitely stick to tennis, and that's what I told myself right after the making of the movie. I was like, okay, that was fun, but I definitely prefer tennis. But the thing is that now when I see it on TV, and when the French TV show the movie again, I'm still emotional about it, and I tell myself this is great stuff that I would be able to show to my children. So yeah, I definitely don't regret this experience. It was nice, but I won't be back behind the TV as an actress.
So the second question from our fan is, how's your book coming up? You've already come up with your first novel. How's your second novel coming up?
The second what?
Your book novel.
Oh, well, don't go too fast. I mean, the first one is not even out yet. You know, it's going out in September. So let's share this one first in September. Hopefully before Roland Garros. I hope Roland Garros is going to remain in September, so that my book will have a real visibility. And then about the second book, you know, I'm writing it. I enjoy writing it a lot. It takes me a lot of time actually during my day. Which is nice, because sometimes you can get a little bit bored in quarantine. So it's nice to have this kind of hobby that you really like. We'll see if I publish it or not. But definitely in this time of lockdown, it's been helping me a lot to pass the time. And I think this is the main goal of this book. But maybe you will hear about it later. I have no idea.
Okay. We'll wait on that.
Okay.
You had a very heartbreaking loss at Roland Garros in 2014 against Taylor Townsend. serve and volley specialist. Is there any other loss in your career that hits you very hard?
Oh yes, I had many hard losses. I can't even count it because it's endless. um, I mean, like every tennis player, I hate to lose, and every loss is hard. Some are harder than others because some of them you give everything you have, and the opponent is just better than yourself, and you have to accept it. This is probably the easier loss to cope with. But definitely there was so many times when I felt that I didn't do right on the court, that I could be so much better, that I could behave better, that I could play better, that I could be bolder. I mean, all these matches, when you lose them, it's horrible. You go back to the locker room, you cry in your shower, and it feels like awful. But we're kind of used to it, you know, and we've been losing since the younger age, so we're living with this feeling, and we bounce back very quick. That's the power of a tennis player, and I think it helps you also in the real life, because when you get down, you get up again, and it's very useful.
You talk about the behavior on court. You're a very feisty person on the court. You bring out your vocals, and you know you engage with the fans as well. Do you think that helps you with your tennis, or do you think it's a distraction?
Yeah, I've been very emotional throughout my career, in a bad and in a good way. I think it's always entertaining for the fans to watch me play, because there is always something happening on the court.
Yeah.
But for the past year, even for the past year and a half, I've been much more quiet on the court. Of course, it doesn't erase the 10 years where I've been like everywhere, but you know, I started to meditate. I started to control my emotions better, and the main reason for that is that I think that it was not helping me in general to waste so much energy by being so emotional. It was helping me sometimes, but most of the time it was just a waste of energy, and I was totally losing my focus. And I mean, as I said before, tennis is now so competitive that you just have to give everything you have into the match, and that was not the case sometimes. So it's been 1 year. I'm much more proud of myself on the court. I think I'm really behaving like a champion now. So I have to keep this direction, because it's definitely helping my tennis, and helping this consistency that I'm looking for some time already.
Yeah, you said you're behaving like a champion. Which Grand Slam would you prefer to win if it were a dream Grand Slam to come true?
Which Grand Slam I would like to win? I mean, you know the answer.
No, I don't. I think the fans would love to hear it.
Well, as a French player, I would say that Roland Garros would be very special. I love all of the slams. I mean, it's definitely the rendezvous that I'm the most looking forward in the year. But for sure, winning Roland Garros in front of my friends, in front of my family, in front of the French crowd, that would be that would be the wildest dream.
You know, you beat Serena Williams as well at Wimbledon. You know, had a breakthrough there. You went into the fourth round, losing to the eventual finalist Jeannie Bouchard. Do you think that is one of the biggest memories you've had, or do you have any other special memory that you'd like to cherish?
No, definitely this match is the best memory I have from my career, and it was, I think, tennistically one of the best match I also played against this amazing champion. I mean, Serena Williams in Wimbledon. Beating her there was pretty much a miracle, especially because before that year I was not feeling very comfortable on grass, you know, and this year I don't know, it's like I was so inspired on the court, and yeah, beating Serena on this court one, it will stay forever in my mind. Definitely as the best memory of my single career. The only regret I have is that I was very close against Eugenie Bouchard to go to the quarter, and yeah, this hurt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We really hope that you'll be able to do that better in Wimbledon. Last question from our fans. If you were to build a perfect player, how would that be? Whose serve would you prefer? Whose forehand do you like? Whose backhand do you like? Give us the perfect player that Alizé Cornet deserves.
If I could like create a player, or if I could take a shot from every player. Yeah, it's the same question. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would keep of myself first. Okay, I would keep my fighting spirit because I think it's pretty good. Then the rest, I would take the fitness of Simona Halep. I would get the serve of Serena, definitely, and her power too, because it's impressive. What would I get? It's not easy. I've never thought about it. I would get the forehand of Ash Barty, because that's wow. I love her game in general, but her forehand is marvelous, and the backhand. For a lot of girls, they have beautiful backhand. It's really not easy. So I would say maybe Andreescu backhand. I think it's quite solid. Yeah, I have my perfect player.
What about the volleys? I thought you would mention yourself at the volleys at the net game.
Yeah, maybe I would keep mine. I don't know. No, yeah, I mean, Ashley Barty, she also has such a great volley. Petra Martic, she's a very good volleyer too. Yeah, let's say Petra. She's my friend, so I would like to add her in my perfect player.
So listen, the last thing, we saw you on your Instagram posting a yoga pose. Do you love doing yoga, and would you love to give us a namaste pose from your side?
Yeah, the thing is that I wish I could give you some tips about yoga, but I actually just started like during the quarantine, so I'm not a professional yet. What I like is that it's a totally different kind of sport from what I'm doing usually. And what I like also is that you are always focused on your breathing, and this is something that is really relating also to meditation. So that's why I like to do this kind of meditation sport. But yeah, if I could give you an advice, I mean, it's just to take time, to take time to do it, to enjoy, to listen to your body, to listen to your physical feeling, and yeah, to be listening to everything that is happening in you. That's what I like about yoga, but I definitely have to improve, because I'm not the stiffest player on tour, but I'm not as soft as a yogi. So you need to give me some time.
Good to have you talking to you, Alizé.
My pleasure.
We hope we can catch up with you later, and let's hope we can see you on the tour as well.
Yeah, I hope so. In 2020, that would be good news. But thanks for everything.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.